Okay, everybody, this is a guided walkthrough for level 20 from the Temperance CTF labs over at hackmyvm.eu. And what are we doing in this mission? So it says here, this is level 20. In this mission, you'll receive the first 50 words from the RockU dictionary in MD5. You must send which word the MD5 corresponds to. So you receive some of the first 50 words from the RockU dictionary in MD5. You must send which word the MD5 corresponds to. And so we see here that the server is going to send us an MD5 string. And what we need to do is we need to send the corresponding word from the RockU.txt list. So if you don't know about the RockU.txt list, let me illustrate it over here. So if we take a look at RockU.txt, it's going to be, well, on Kali Linux, it's going to be at user share wordless RockU.txt. And let's just get the first 50 words. So it's a very big list. Cannot open 50. Okay, let's put, yeah. So this is, the entire list is 14 million of the most common passwords. And this is a very big list that's usually used in password cracking attacks or online brute forcing attacks. So what we want to do is we want to encrypt each one of these words into MD5 and then compare it with the string that the server sends us. So the server is going to send us a string, for example, this one. What we want to do is we want to compare this to the MD5 hashed version of each one of these words. And if we find a match for what the server sends us, we have to send back the original word from the RockU.txt list. So let's go ahead and start the level. So in this level, what we need to do is we need to do some coding. So to do the coding, we've got the code from the previous level over here. So we saved this as level20.py, but this is actually the code from level19.py. So we're going to go into the text editor here, and we're going to do a little bit of coding. We're going to do some modification to the code. We're going to get rid of these imports over here because I don't think we need any of these for this level. Before we go on, let me talk about a very basic thing that we're going to be doing with each one of these levels. So for each one of these levels, we're going to communicate with the server on a arbitrary port, and we're going to do that with the socket module over here. So when we use the socket module, we need to specify a host and a port to communicate on. In this case, it's temperance.hackmyvm.eu, and the port that we're going to communicate on is 9988. So the first thing we do inside the code is we create a socket object. And the socket object is the object through which we're going to be communicating with the server. So with socket.socket, socket.afnet, socket.sockstream as S. So the object we're going to create is just called S. We're going to do the following. We're going to do s.connect. So we're going to connect to the server on the specified host and port. After that, we're connected to the server and we can do other things. So we're going to connect to the host and receive the initial message, print receiving intro. We're going to save a variable called data, and it's going to be receiving bytes from the server. So we do s.receive. We'll receive 1024 bytes. And then we print the variable just to see what we got from the server. The next thing we need to do is we need to send the level that we want to access. And in this case, it's going to be level 20. So we just need to adjust this. The reason when we send over the socket, we need to send bytes. So bytes are indicated in Python by this little b before the string. And the reason we send bytes is because the socket, when we receive things over a raw network connection, we receive bytes. We don't receive strings. Bytes and strings are different things, of course. And so when we receive something, we have to receive bytes. When we send something over the socket, we also have to send bytes. This is something that we have to be very careful of when we're dealing with Python. Okay, so the next thing we do is we receive the challenge, we receive more data from the server, and we print that out. And this is where we're going to put a pin in the code. So there's a bunch more code over here. We're just going to make sure that this part of the script works. So everything up until this point, we're going to write it out. And then in the other window here, we're going to run the script. Okay, so we see here that we managed to communicate with the socket. It's sending us bytes. So we see the B here, which means we're getting bytes. And we received something here. So this is an MD5 hash, because according to the challenge over here, you're going to receive one of the first 50 words from the RockU dictionary in MD5. So this is going to be an MD5 hash. You need to find out which word it corresponds to. So what we need to do here is we need to make a list. We need to make a list of the first 50 words in the RockU word list. So I'm just going to do it over here. So we're going to head 50, just get the first 50 words from the list. So user share word lists rocku.txt. Okay, so this is the list here. I'm just going to grab this. I guess what we need to do is we need to find an efficient way to turn this into a list. So whatever we have here, so this, we're going to pipe that into sed with this here. Okay, so this puts all of the brackets, all of the single quotes around each one of the letters. So the next thing we need to do is we need to remove the new lines. And I guess, another sed command. No input files. So, okay, so this puts the comma at the end of each line. And the last thing we need to do is we need to eliminate all the new line characters. So trd new lines. So /n like this. Okay, so I think this should work. I'm just going to grab this and we're going to paste this into the Python script over here. Okay, so we're just going to define, we'll call it RockU list. RockU list equals all this stuff. Okay, great. So we've got our list over here. So we'll write this out, and what do we need to do next? We need to write a little function that compares whatever we receive in this string over here. Well, first thing we need to do is we need to take whatever we receive from the server, and we need to convert it into a string. So convert the bytes into a string. Oh, we need to spell that correctly. Okay, convert the bytes into a string. So this, we're just going to call this data string. Data string equals data2 dot decode from bytes into ASCII. Actually, let's just do UTF-8, and then we'll print that out. So print, this is the string, these are the bytes converted to a string. Okay, and then we will print out data string. Okay, so each time we do something inside of our script, we should be printing out something to indicate what we're doing inside of the script. So we're just going to write this out, and we're going to run the script again. Where are we? Here. Okay, so we receive the challenge. These are the bytes, and then we convert them into a string. These are the bytes converted to a string. Great. So the next thing we need to do is we need to find a way to compare this string to each one of the words in the list of Rocky words. So how do we do MD5 hashing? So this is something I'm just going to have to look up. Let's see, Python MD5 hashing function. Okay, so there's a hashlib module for cryptographic hashing, including MD5. So import the hashlib module, and then create an MD5 hash object. Instantiate the MD5 hash object using hashlib.md5. MD5 sum, oh, inside of Python. Yeah, MD5 sum is, that works for Linux, but we're doing it inside of Python. So hashlib, MD5 hasher, hashlib, So it's just to import the hashlib first. So up here, yeah, import the hashlib. So import hashlib, and I guess we're going to write a little for loop here. So here we need to do a for loop that hashes each one of the Rocky words and compares it to the data string. Okay, so so for words in Rocky list, for word, I guess, for word in Rocky list, we're going to be doing something. So for each one of the words in Rocky list, we're going to, what is the function? We're going to hashlib.md5. Hashlib.md5 on the word. And I guess we're going to call this something. We're going to call this the current word, or maybe current hash. So the current hash is going to be the MD5. It's going to be the hashlib.md5 word, and then we're going to do the comparison. So the comparison, if how do we compare? So if current hash is equal to data string return current hash, return current hash, and then break. Yeah, so so if, oh, this is not 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you write code blocks inside of Python, you have to make sure that all of the, what is it called? The spacing? You have to make sure all the spacing is correct, otherwise the code's not going to work. Okay, so do we need to put anything else in here? Yeah, I don't think we need to put anything else in here. Okay, So do a loop that hashes each one of them. And so the loop return current hash. I guess, do we need to make this a function? We should make this a function. So we're going to call it, I don't know, get hash. Get hash, and we're going to put, what are we going to put in here? The data string. Okay, which means we need to indent this again. And then we need to run this function. So to run the function, run the function, we would do get hash with the data string. And that should return the current hash. That should return the correct MD5 encrypted thing. So run the function. We're going to save this as a variable. Actually, we don't want to return the current hash. Hold on. Okay, so we actually want to get the word. So for word in RockU list, current hash, we need to return the word, not the current hash. So return the word and then break. Okay, I think this should work better. Okay, so get hash data string, and then we'll print out something like print we're going to run the function. We're going to save the thing as the correct word. And that's going to be equal to running the function. So print out something like this is the matching word. Okay, and then print out correct word. Okay, let's save that out. Let's see if this works, because there is a distinct possibility that this doesn't work. Okay, expected something. Define get hash. Oh, okay. When you write your functions, you need to put a colon over here. Let's save that. Let's run the script again. Strings must be encoded before hashing. Oh. Strings must be encoded before hashing. So we need to turn the strings into bytes first. Let me check. Actually, no, we don't need to check. We just need to go over here and we need to make sure that these are bytes. Okay, so for word in RockU list, we need to transform the word into bytes. So word bytes equal word dot decode. Word dot decode from UTF-8. And this should be bytes. So the current hash is going to be the hashlib MD5 on word bytes. So if current hash is equal to the data string, actually the data string, this shouldn't be the data string then. So because this function uses bytes, we can't convert the bytes into a string. So I guess all we need to do here is omit the part where we convert the bytes into a string. And then we send it data 2 directly. Okay, so this is going to be data 2. And in this case, because this is already raw bytes, we don't need to convert the word from a string. So we just need to send it the word, because the word is going to be bytes. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and write that out and run it again. Okay, we received the challenge. These are the bytes, and strings must be encoded before hashing. Oh, so the word is, right, okay. So the word in the list over here, RockU list, these are still strings. So we need to convert those words into bytes. So for word in RockU list, word bytes equals word dot decode or encode. Encode into bytes from UTF-8 format. Okay, so current hash equals MD5 hashing on the word bytes. If current hash equals to the data string, then return the word and break. Okay, write that out, and let's run the script again. Okay, this is the matching word, none. Oh, something's gone wrong. It returns a hash object, not a string. You need to call hex digest to get the actual hash string. So we need to current hash equals hashlib dot hex digest. So do we just add this? Dot, what is it? Hex digest. Okay, so let's go back, let's run it again. So it still says this is the matching word. So for word in RockU list, word bytes equals this. If the current hash is equal to the data string, return word break. Actually, you know what? I want to print that out. I want to print these out just to do some debugging. So we're going to print out current hash. So I'll print out the current hash just to make sure that it's going through okay. Okay. Let's run the script. It doesn't print it out because this never goes off. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Let's just do this in the for loop. So print current hash. Okay, and then okay, so we received this as the challenge. So 827. So yeah. Oh, these are bytes, and they're being compared to strings right now. Hold on. Okay, so current hash, let's just print out the type, because I suspect that these are strings and they're being compared to bytes, so this will never come back. Okay, so we'll do type on current hash. So this should come back as strings because that's what I suspect it is. Okay. These are strings, so they'll never come back. Okay, so the problem here is that we're comparing strings to bytes and they don't compare to each other. So current hash dot encode. Actually, no. We'll do if current hash dot encode decode to bytes from UTF-8. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. I think this should be okay. All right. Let's save that out. Let's see if this works now. Oh, okay. It's not decode. It's supposed to be encode. I get this wrong all the time. So if I'm trying to turn something into bytes from strings, we need to encode. It doesn't seem very intuitive. Okay, this is the matching word rock you. What? Is rock you one of the actual words? That's weird. Hold on. Let's get rid of this because I forgot to get rid of this part. Okay, let's save that out. Okay, so it seems to be working now. So each time we receive some bytes, and then we are able to identify the matching word. Okay, so if that's the case, then all we need to do is we need to turn this string into bytes and then send it back to the server. So over here in the code, we need to do this. So convert the correct word into bytes. So all we need to do here is we just need to bytes equals correct word dot decode or encode from UTF-8. And then we'll print a little message too. These are this is the string converted to bytes. And then new line, and then bytes. Hold on. Okay, so this is the last step we need to confirm before we send it back to the server and get the flag. So this seems to be okay. So we got the bytes. All we need to do is to send these bytes back to the server, and then we should be able to complete the challenge. Oops. Okay, and let's run the script one last time. Done. Great. So we got the flag. It is this. HMV rock you, rock me. Great. Okay. So before we finish the challenge, let's talk about what we did in this challenge. Okay, so for this challenge, we needed to grab a list of words from the rock you list, and then we needed to compare it against whatever we received from the server. So we received some a MD5 hash from the server, and we needed to compare it to each one of the words inside the rock you list, the first 50 of the words anyways. So what we did after we converted, we did a for loop. So we wrote a for loop which is going to iterate over each one of the words in the Rock-U list over here. So for each one of the words, we turned those words into bytes, and then we did a comparison. So we did a comparison between the bytes that we received from the server and each one of the words. So if the words match, then we would return the word, and then we would save it. And we saved it as this variable here called correct word, which is a string. We need to convert the string into bytes and then send back to the server, and then we got the flag. Okay, so to finish the challenge, we just need to grab the flag here and then submit it to the server here. Okay, they want us to sign in again. That's great. Let's go back. So HNB Labs, Temperance, paste in the flag. We're on level number 20. You have submitted the flag successfully. Great. Okay, so everybody, that was a guided walkthrough for level number 20 from the Temperance CTF Labs from HackMyVM.eu. If you enjoyed this guided walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on the video and leave a comment underneath the video. But until next time, HackerFrogs out.
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button. And if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.